everyone, welcome to the channel. It is March 19th, 2026, and I got some messages for you. Got a little sage. I hope you're doing well. Another day is treating you kindly. Alrighty then. So, there were some men talking about the sexual health and sensitivity of a woman. They need to get in her energy and capture, sabotage her somehow. They want her vessel, her body, they want the fluids, and they want the mind and its source connection. They want access to the higher realms that her mind has access to. So, may these upper realms remove these uninvited guests from their transport system. It felt like there was a subtle interference trying to squeeze my mind. Very subtle. It was like an energetic squeezing. Very, very subtle. These guys are working real hard to try to separate our consciousness, to hex or curse our crown, and to sabotage our light body, our chariot, our Merkaba, and our connection to source. So you may be experiencing some of these symptoms as well. Someone said to another masculine, be careful. And the other one said, hopefully, she needs her medicine. So they believe that if there's medicine in a woman's body, that gives them the right to continuously attack her and attempt to unalive her, capture, claim her life, her mind, and her identity and spiritual gifts. They want the power of the woman. They've got a puppet making a forward movement towards a female, and physically, mentally, astrally, energetically. So in all ways, these guys are trying to tap into that energy. They got to get their hook in. They're being warned to watch how they talk to her, that she's the magistrate. At 11:44 p.m., a fellow that sounded like he has authority is telling these curator and friends to be careful of what they say to this magistrate. They're going on and on and on about her authority. She has the authority to evict them out of the universe. She's listening to them. Much like many of us, all day, every day, plotting and strategizing on how to replace her, unalive her, torture her, sexually molest her. It's insane what's going on in the mental body of these men regarding women. Their own lack of power and their need to obtain hers. The curator, in a whiny boy voice, said, but she sabotages herself. Meaning, she speaks openly. She speaks about what her sovereign state of mind and the upper dimensional guidance system is asking her to speak about. These nasties have been in control of the communications of the human and everybody else for so long, for centuries, that now that this magistrate has been emancipated and replaced into her position of authority, these nasty jacks who have degraded, defiled, and degenerated themselves so badly, they really want to gain her power and her energy and her authority because they have gone south node again. They spent centuries brutalizing women and children, gender swapping the men, and then being foul, leeching blood out of innocent animals and babies and everyone else. They went so far south. This high vibrational divine feminine mother is their antidote. The temperance that they need, that they don't have. And they want to capture her, force her to bring temperance to their shitty, nasty, freaking malicious self while they punish her and command her own God-given authority. They're trying to send in nasty jacks to gain an entanglement, a conversation, a friendship. They want somebody to work with you. They're sending in younger espionage kids, is what Spirit calls them. They feel that they have the privilege to claim an oracle, a prophetess, because she's speaking truth openly. There's no contracts. There's no agreements. There's no marriage. There's no friendship. There's no nothing. She's been completely emancipated out of this particular sect of sorcery. And she can do whatever she wants. God has elevated her, given her the authority to take care of this territory. And these nasty jacks are not permitted in. They're not getting a house. They're not getting a paycheck. They're not getting anything because of their history regarding women and children. They feel that they have the right to silence her. And again, she has no agreements, no contracts, no loyalties, no friendship. They know her, but she doesn't know them, because they have brutalized her mind and her soul and her spirit, and they've used that stupid nebulizer, to erase your memories and shit, lifetime after lifetime. Excuse my language. Thinking about these ones always brings it out of me. I am sorry. So, there's no loyalties. There's only survival and victory over their abuses and what they deemed an impossible path that was meant to end her and keep her in a hellhole for eternity, while they hurt her and dressed up in her energy and her authority, calling themselves righteous men, good leaders, boom, 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 boom. These addicts presenting themselves as men need the woman's energy and gifts to continue doing so. They can't make their magic work without it. They can't cast the mental illusions without it. She used to be their prisoner of war. For centuries, they've been using her energy and her mind as consciousness as a bridge and a connector into these upper dimensional Star Nation soul tribes and creating war there. This is the final reset. These ones are done. And the fact that this magistrate survived, the fact that these divine feminines survived, and they're all being lifted up into their status of authority, means these guys they don't have the connection to that power and authority anymore. So the rightful producer of the energy and the skill set required for such positions is being elevated into those positions. And you've got these nasty jacks wanting to snatch her back so that they can hurt her and then drain her soul and then pretend that it's them once again. Mr. He wants to dress up in your beautiful energy and then go tell his boyfriend how sexy he is. She's been emancipated, she's been freed, and she is more than one. It's plural. I'm speaking singular, but there's plural. Their perceived authority over her life does not exist. They claim that because she uses a synthetic medicine, that gives them the right to harvest her spirit, her soul, her talent, her gifts, her energy, her skills, her connection to source, because there's a medicine that they have hexed and cursed and used to harden the waters within the temple. These malicious magicians intentionally sabotaging people and forcing them into failure so that these men who have the value of a dead man can pretend that they're alive, while they go around throwing more bombs on other people to harvest those souls and pretend that they are protecting. They're not protecting anything. They're executing what they need on their timeline. That is virgins, that is warriors, that is light bodies, that is batteries. God said this was the end of their relationship with batteries. So I don't know what they think they're getting from these harvests, because in the long run, their timeline will be destroyed. God has emancipated all of the goddesses of time. These ones have been sacrificing innocents, which are babies, into this timeline of theirs, their utopia, because they needed that purity in order to generate the golden city, right? And so that's that. They needed that energy. That doesn't mean the child gets to be there. That means they harvested the energy and imbued themselves with it. The name of the game has changed, and they are having difficulty adjusting to their new lack of privileges. The curator is talking about driver's licenses and a vehicle registration. So he's saying that she doesn't have a clue what's going to happen to her. Premeditated red rum, torturous, suffering affair he wants to bring to the woman. So he's insisting that she needs medicine, and it gives him the right to go and F her up. She uses medicine. She needs a holistic healthcare system. These ones have been told already that she is in the process of revamping their sick care into a holistic healthcare system. They want to remove her by claiming that she's in lack because of the synthetic, before she has the opportunity to build this system. And then, so he has no right to her life or soul. She is in the process of creating a holistic healthcare system for self, and she wants to and he wants to end her opportunity before she can reach a successful medical transition into this holistic healthcare system that she's creating. And he's desperate to feed this vampiric dead man. He does not want her to create this holistic healthcare system and then to bring everybody into it off of those synthetics, because they want to harvest everybody. They feel that this medicine, well, they can sabotage the Merkaba with this synthetic medicine, and they feel that that gives them the right to claim the soul value of an upper dimensional Star Nation soul tribe's son or daughter. These vampiric dead men walking around in animated corpses think that they have more authority than those beings here now to set the record straight. They're threatening women. They're talking about driver's license registration, and they're talking about she has no idea what's going to happen to her. So the curator is saying that she is stronger than he thought she was. Of course she was. She's the manufacturer of the freaking essence, the energy, the soul value. She constantly adds value to her soul, while these guys are constantly out there pouring it out. Of course she's stronger than you thought she was. Pretender. So the curator is talking real quiet. telling somebody new that she sabotages herself, she advertises herself, she has the strength, and she needs the medicine. So these losers are they're projecting their losing life onto this magistrate, this woman, whoever she is, if it happens to be the magistrate, and they claim that they're going to harvest her soul value due to this medicine. They say she doesn't have the right to speak. They're saying that she's sabotaging herself because she's an honest psychic. They're saying that they have the right to silence her, to harvest her, and to step into her rainbow covenant with God as her, after consuming her blood and eating her flesh, to command the gates that she has been given authority over. These are not men. These are empty, soulless beings needing a fix of their favorite drug, which is human suffering and their bodily fluids. These are very dangerous and desperate entities at this time. They're talking about a woman saying that she's the only person that testified, and it sounds as though they're getting ready to get rid of witnesses that have survived their brutality or who are exposing it. And it sounds like they're trying to eliminate these witnesses' opportunity to testify. And this is exactly what they did with the prophets, prophetesses, and the oracles in the history, or at least the females, that they transferred onto another timeline and then accused them of being witches and burned them at the stake. Over and over and over again, many times they've done this. They're talking about a woman who is 49 years old. And the curator is somebody sounding like him, says she's an American. She's beautiful. They were talking about California again. And there's something about a difference. And is talking about plastic surgery. And the same quality, whatever that is. There seems to be a bully going around trying to get women to trust them. So we've got a bully, a master word magician, going around trying to get women to trust them. They're in need of a soul harvest. They need these powerful women's soul value. Without it, they are nothing. Their favorite weapon of war is relationship and marriage contracts. The divine feminines have been emancipated, and these nasties are desperate to get back in their energy. So they're trying to convince the women out there that they're trustworthy, but they're actually, they're preying right now. P-R-E-Y. These religious men are out preying right now on divine feminine. So this bully wants women to trust him. They're copying a woman and saying at the same time that they've got a woman. So what they do is they marry a woman. They copy her. They're with her for about a year, right? Until they can get her mannerisms down. Then they sacrifice her to the devil and replace her with a copycat, a lookalike. And then they mimic the woman that they sacrificed while saying that they have the woman by their side. They don't. They have a Jezebel. This is the way these men have been gaining their spiritual authority and their spiritual source connection, because without women, these ones do not have it. They've been cut off from life. But they are very, very good at mimicking human beings. So, yes, these ones don't believe the gods and the goddesses will come together. The stars, the twin flames, are the gods and the goddesses, the demigods, the demigoddesses. Those titans that were given a twist and thrown into a hellhole are coming online. They've been emancipated and they're about ready to come together, but these nasty vampiric entities still feel that they're going to be able to stop it. Somebody is telling another to focus. So they do. They gather in groups, concentration groups, camps, whatever the hell, and then they focus projection into the body, the waters of another being. Focus, focus, focus. Harden the waters. Disconnect the Merkaba. There's a masculine and perhaps more than one that have now been employed by this curator as a couple of Judases, agreeing to sabotage the magistrate. They have accepted the position of the universal gatekeeper, and now all they have that this curator gave them, this curator who's been 86, cut off, demoted, outcast, is giving these whatever nasties the opportunity of universal gatekeeper. All they have to do is capture the woman and then torture her to death and then replace her with their chosen lookalike, Miss Plastic Surgery. This is the same jackass that put the curator in charge of interpreting the stolen intellectual property and messaging of upper dimensions from the trapped magistrate who is now free. Okay, so it wasn't the curator. This was the one who gave the curator thousands of years ago the duty of interpreting the magistrate's intellectual property, her Star Nation soul messaging that she was to manifest in this realm. So those ones, these interdimensional nasty jacks that had given the curator this role previously, are now sitting here talking to these two other people that are in the territory. They've offered them the universal gatekeeper position. Whoever these interdimensional shitheels are, probably Galactic effing Federation or some shit. Moloch, Satan, freaking Baal, whatever. So these are the nasty jack interdimensional timeline jumpers. These archons, freaking whatever the hell. The curator is saying to someone, look, she has to be innocent. He's trying to explain to somebody why they hadn't done whatever these people want to do, why he had not sacrificed the magistrate. She's pure, she's sanctified, but she's not childlike. She's been brutalized and tortured and living the transferred karmic lifestyle while somebody else siphoned her royal image. Kaparat, magician, sorcerer, pieces of shit. It's like if they sacrifice somebody who isn't pure, like a freshly born baby, a gigantic upper dimensional soul. If they don't torture it and then siphon its power out of it to fuel their stupid utopia, if they sacrifice somebody who isn't innocent, then it's going to throw some shit in there. Besides that, they've stated that if they sacrifice this magistrate, they transfer everything that is with her, meaning the root, the crown, and both tribes of the lion and the jaguar that walk with her. These nasty asses, they're out there talking this smack, and they're so stupid. They don't know that every freaking body's listening. They've been so accustomed to their shadowy privacy that they can't seem to get it. These ones may be opening up a whole can of worms and get themselves into a pickle. If they try to attempt to sacrifice and transfer this woman, both clans are going to come into their stupid utopia and probably slaughter everybody. They should just stop. Be happy with what you got, man. Go away. There seems to be a whole bunch of masculines eager to red rum capture, claim a woman so that they can have her power. And what I heard, and then I was listening to a younger masculine, and he said, what I heard, she's innocent. So they're still attacking this innocent person who was resurrected, ascended, emancipated, sanctified, purified of the shame and the blame of the sin that these nasty men and their Jezebels transferred onto her. Like the golden nugget in a jar, and they kept transferring their sin of their perverted nastiness into the jar with her. And they've been forcing her to take the blame and the shame and pay the karmic debt for it, lifetime after lifetime. They've tortured her to death because of it. Osiris knows their scheme now. Some of those that have been tortured and then sent there, and while the Jezebel went up top, oh yeah, honey, there's a transference happening, all right. This curator's upset over what's happening to his family, and he was told that it's a simple return of the stuff that he had already done to other people. It's simply a return of what they have already done to others. It's not personal. It's just a return. They have to experience the severity, right, of the nastiness. They really want to claim this woman's energy and the authority. They don't have energy. They don't have any authority without it. All they have is bombs and guns and muscles, right? They certainly don't have any intelligence. It's just they're driven by the need to feed on souls. It's weird. It's weird that these entities are up there in their three-piece suit portraying themselves as some freaking leader, man. They say that this magistrate is the exact opposite of what their prophecy said that their savior was going to be. They want to sacrifice her, but she doesn't fit the prophecy. They want to feed on her. They're calling her an appetizer, but they have to deal with the tribe of the lion and the tribe of the jaguar if they want to do that. They want to try to come into the 3D energy to be a friend. They're sending in espionage kids, younger masculines, to work with her so that they can gain the entanglement, the relationship, and then lead her down a path where somebody can come up and take her out and replace her. Be freaking aware of any younger masculines that are coming in to work with you. Oh, I'm so excited to learn from you, Mama. Oh, yeah. A woman embodying gifts and abilities they need in order to continue pretending that they are gifted and source connected. They use the woman's essence and womb of power, her eternal life force energy, to cast spells and illusions over the mental bodies of citizenry, to put them in a hypnotic trance so that they're like, yay, our leader got it together, woo, he's the best, woo. Yeah. Her essence is massive, and it is one reason why they failed to keep her. It's one reason why God saw her and reclaimed her. This woman did the work. She's been in a hellhole for centuries, and she did the work. She did the shadow work. She got her light on, freaking brought her soul back online. Bling! And these assholes are like, oh no, what do we do now? Oh no, we gotta recapture her. They failed. They degenerated themselves so damn bad. And while they were continuously degenerating their own vessel and their own soul and their own minds, she was in a hellhole fortifying, rooting, rooting, rooting. And when she got that freaking root spread out in that deepest hellhole that they themselves can't even get to, she claimed that space. And everybody there knows who she is. These assholes want that. She went boom and went right up. God said, "Ooh, hello, daughter," and gave her crown. And now these assholes want to consume that tree, that energy, and they want to claim the very bottom and the very top, and they want to be that, but they can't because they're not. Even if they were to consume the energy, they can't be it sufficiently. They don't have the temperance, the inner fortitude, the strength to persevere through challenges like those that they give. God is going to give them back those challenges, though. And if they're lucky, if they survive, then they'll be able to get the prize that they have been stealing all this time, apparently. So they're talking about obtaining this woman, and they're talking about evolving. These men are worthless. They say she is their antidote. She did the work. She turned the light on. She's the powerhouse. She's the one who can manage temperance when this huge black energy that she had to transmute for thousands of years was met with her huge light. And these ones think they can just come in and befriend her, get a little entanglement, and snatch it. I don't think so. No. They say that she is the antidote to their own irresponsible genetic modifications that they did to themselves and their bloodline. They've been forcing the original organic powerhouse of the divine feminine to transmute the shit that they can no longer transmute because they cut themselves off from source. The only way for them to go is down. Unless they're climbing somebody else's freaking spine and getting into the ladder up into those higher spaces. The only way that they can get up into that space or have any kind of temperance whatsoever is to parasite somebody who has that ability. They want to degrade this powerhouse of a divine feminine in order to elevate themselves. And this is what they did last time. Level 47 darkness met with level 47 light. They had her captured into level 47 darkness while they fooled around up here pretending that they were the chosen ones. But they weren't. They were level 47 devils who did not do the work. She came, she brought them into temperance, and then they flipped, twisted, slammed her down and elevated on her energy, on her ladder, on her source-connected consciousness. This is what they've been doing to the divine feminines. These nasty, having the value of dead men entities wearing three-piece suits and masks. I love you, honey. Oh, let's get married. Yeah. They don't want to procreate. They don't want to build a family. They're not interested in building family trees. They're only interested in elevating. Elevating. They don't want to evolve. They want to degenerate. They were given the opportunity to evolve thousands of years ago. And the divine feminine suffered greatly. Everybody suffered greatly. Because they didn't have any intention of collaborating or doing the work or being anything. These were just malicious, very low vibrational devils who wanted a free freaking ride home. And they speak proper words of love. They speak proper words of leadership, but they're full of malice. And they think they hate everybody. It hurts to be in their energy. It hurts to look at their face as they're saying how great they are. They want to genetic harvest powerful souls, and then they want to do their mad scientist experiments again to try to evolve. Not naturally, not by procreation. They want to violate biology again by stealing the most powerful feminine right out of God's hands. And it's funny that they think that that's a possibility. It's almost hilarious. Maybe it's just hell areas. They're enemy number one. Rather than offer protection for this woman, they want to capture her, lure her into an agreement, a contract, and then mess up her world again. So they are enemy number one, and now they seem to have grievances. She's taking care of people, and these nasty ones have grievances. Why? Because they're not getting a house. They're not getting a paycheck. They're not getting into the territory. If they are in there, if these people are in this magistrate's territory talking like this about her, man, they need to be evicted promptly. They're a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week threat to her and everybody that she has been given charge over. She's here to protect the souls of the future of humanity, because these ones have nearly destroyed it with their CRISPRing and their genocidal bombing. They have grievances because they're cut out of the mother's charity. They're not worthy. They're red rumming pimps of purity, of love. They want to capture this woman and torture her again, and they are eager. They sound very eager. One of them mentioned Israel, and they say that it must be a religious man in this woman's position. These devils hate the woman, but they need what she is, what she naturally has, in order to pretend that they have significance of any kind at all. Someone is being warned that every time she hears them talking as though they are opposition, they will be treated as such. For that is what they are, confessing in the shadowy realms of their little camps. Apparently, whatever they were planning to do to this woman, something worse is going to happen to them. This could be God. This could be her protector telling them this. So they could be telling them this. That every time that she hears them talking as though they are opposition, whatever they are planning to do to her, something worse is going to happen to them. They're talking about estrogen in all canned goods and atrazine in the water, which is proven to change the gender in frogs and cause micro penises. They've been gender switching the masculines, and they've been forcing the women to become more masculine by having to protect themselves from the masculine. These people want to support making women more masculine, making masculines more feminines, and then merging them into one body type of androgyny. That was this curator's goal. They're saying that she's balancing everything. And another one is arguing that she needs medicine. So this curator doesn't give a shit that she's bringing balance and temperance to the territory, to the people, to the minds. She's energizing everybody, bringing life to everything. And this curator says because there's a synthetic medicine in her, that he owns that energy and that is his role. He goes in there and determines who gets a house, who gets a paycheck, who gets a freaking foothold in the freaking territory. He wants that role like he has every other time. And those people that put him in that role, these interdimensional gurus, have already hired 2 additional people to come after this woman. The Royal Mother stated that her life means their punishment because they won't stop trying to unalive her. And they've done it over and over and over and over and over and over and over for thousands of years. This is not a new position. This is a new opportunity. And what that means is she knows what these ones were due. She knows that when they send in a young boy to work with her, oh, I'm so sweet, I'm so precious. Yes, she knows that he's an espionage kid. They put so much black energy into the soul of this woman, they thought that she was going to be in the hellhole forever. But they did not realize that the light in this woman is just as great as any nastiness that they forced her to alchemize. They have no idea what this woman chose to become when they thought that they had successfully destroyed her. They want to remove this woman before she has an opportunity to create a Mother Nature's holistic healthcare system that will then bring the temples of the people back into that status. He does not want this to occur. He needs people sick. He needs people suffering. He needs people trapped. And he needs that angel's merchandise. He was arrogantly saying that he owns every angel's merchandise. It's his. It belongs to him. That's what he's fighting for. He's not fighting for a right to get along and collaborate and be a friend. No. He's fighting to destroy the earth angel and claim their soul so that he and his friend, freaking Moloch, Baal, whatever the heck, this devil, this Satan, his God is at war with the Rainbow Covenant holder. And they're in the magistrate's territory wanting to destroy her so that they can get access to the souls, to the wealth, and kick them all out of their houses and say, get the fuck in your tent on the damn sidewalk. And then they're going to make it illegal like they already have. They want to continue with that pattern. They need to get rid of the mother who survived the soul siphoning. Because she knows what they're doing. And it's not going to happen. God knows. The root and the crown knows very well. And as long as this person is in this representative role, being guided from above, receiving the intellectual property that she was supposed to be receiving all these thousands of years and then manifesting it into the world as an earth angel is supposed to be doing. Oh, these shady characters of the shadows are so mad. They're going to really be mad at this video too, because I'm just like, whatever. They want to poison everyone. They want to kill them on purpose and say that they were insufficient anyway because of medicine. They need these people to go into the fire. They need to collect the earth angels' merchandise. And God already claimed it. So they feel that if they can remove this woman to destroy this woman, that they will once again claim the middle ground and then destroy the people there and continue on with this androgynous transitional whatever. These are vampiric RAPS thieves, and they've been in charge of the soul's advancement, the gates. They've been throwing them out at the gate, claiming that initiate reward and gifts, and then dropping them onto a copycat and sending them forth as wives. Those people who have not the substance necessary to maintain and manage that power in a good way. These are unqualified and incapable people pretending that they are powerful, using the earth angels' energy and gifts to hurt the earth angels and everything that they love. That cycle has come to a close and they're desperate to restart it. They feel that it won't take anything but a year. They feel that once a year goes by, they're going to be back in and everybody else is going to be back screwed, assuming the freaking position. Without weapons of war, without poisons that people agree to have injected into them, without that man suit and all those big muscles, they would be nothing. They have no gifts of the soul. There is no value in their soul. They don't have a decent, loving mind or heart. If they didn't have the opportunity to squash us with their weapons of war, they would never overcome anybody or anything because they're parasites, feeding on the host that they consume. They're literal parasites. That's why the medical industry or the sick care industry never talks about parasitical cleanses. They never talk about it. They never talk about uric acid overload causing arthritis and freaking gout, okay? Which a lot of people suffer from. Uric acid is a byproduct of parasites pissing and shitting in your freaking joints while they're gobbling your soft tissues. They never talk about that. They just say, oh, a new disease. Oh, we got to saw your legs off at the hip and ram a titanium bar down your finger. Yes. Solutions from the medical field. Yes. To generate suffering and to paint us as insufficient and incapable of managing our temples in a good way. No thing good comes from them. They even hate their own children. They RAP them, they red rum them, they eat them, they terrorize them. These men feel that they have the right to take this woman's life and her God-appointed authority. These lowlives think that they have the right to destroy the life of the planetary mother stabilizer. They want to continue in their prostitution business. They think that they have the right to continue breathing when they speak of the mother who gives life in such a way. They think breathing is a right for them and and an undeserved privilege for others. God said their intentions shall be their gift, and they have proven their intentions over the last many thousands of years. These ones are being told that this woman is innocent and that they're going after this innocent person. These ones don't care. She was innocent thousands of years ago when they first red-rummed her, when they took her life and then trapped her as a prisoner of war, replacing her with a copycat that then acted like a drunkard, a Jezebel, a whore. They have eagerly made their choice. They very loudly and boldly accepted the opportunity to kill this universal gatekeeper and command her essence and authority. She's dignified, and she is the chosen representative. And these group of masculines, all they do is gather to discuss how they can sabotage this woman, her Merkaba, her light body, her chariot home. They feel that they have the right to drink her blood, to eat her flesh, to become just like her, and then claim her identity and position. Just like every other time. Many times they have done this and tortured her to death. This is the last time. This time she has a guarantee. This time their intentions of what they wish to do to her shall be done to them. That's the message. See you on the next one.